Yes, hello everyone, I am back and there's a lot of ground to cover. I apologize for being gone so long. I know I said I was going to do a video about lockdown, but I got sick and my bizarre unisex Mickey Mouse voice sounded even stranger than usual, and I thought the video wouldn't be very good, so I decided not to do it. Then I thought about doing a video on Edge's retirement, and I thought, well, the draft is coming up too, so maybe I can just do it all as one big fucking video that people will love, and yeah, here it is now. And I ended up taking that break that I said I was going to take anyway, so good for me, yay. But yeah, pay-per-views, let's get into that. I did see Lockdown. It was not a bad show. I enjoyed Angle and Jarrett, and I enjoyed Lethal Lockdown, so the show overall was okay. It was solid, not perfect, not great, but it was good enough, I guess. It was better than I thought it would be. I'll say that. It was better than WrestleMania, definitely. I got more bang for my buck than I did from Mania. And speaking of WrestleMania, we have WrestleMania Part 2 coming up this weekend, Extreme Rules, which, if you've been following my videos, you know that I feel that there are way too many pay-per-views in wrestling. When you look at both WWE and TNA, and both of them trying to do one pay-per-view a month is just ridiculous. But if there's one that the WWE can definitely afford to drop, it's the post-WrestleMania April or May pay-per-view. Because, you know, whether it's Backlash or Extreme Rules, it just almost always winds up turning into WrestleMania Part 2. And if you look at this card, that's basically what it is. You've got Miz and Cena again with Morrison thrown in the mix, which, that's better than R-Truth. I'll give him that. I don't like R-Truth. You got Edge and Del Rio again with Christian taking Edge's place because Edge retired, and I'll get into that in a minute. You got Ray and Cody again, Orton Punk again, Cole and Lawler again in a tag match, which, you know, it was so great the first time, so we have to see it again. And overall, it just feels like WrestleMania 27 without Rock and Snooki, but with gimmick matches. And quite honestly, if you're asking me to pay $60 for one show, I'm not going to feel real compelled to pay an additional $40 for all the rematches. And there's nothing really on here that goes, oh, wow, I want to see that. You know, it's not like in 04 where it was basically the same thing, WrestleMania Part 2, but we had Foley and Orton finally one-on-one. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I want to see that. But there's nothing like that on this card, so fuck it. I'm not going to watch it. If you are, have fun, enjoy, but I'm not going to sit and watch it at all. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Extreme Rules. I want to get into Edge. Edge announced his retirement a few weeks ago, and that's really sad for me because if you know me, Edge is definitely one of my favorites. I think he's one of the most consistently good performers in the WWE. And his loss is going to leave a huge gaping hole. You know, I loved him in the tag team with Edge and Christian. I thought they were the best tag team in the company at a time when that actually meant something. I thought as a single star, he just consistently got better and better until he turned heel in 05. He became fantastic. And then when they made him the Rated R Superstar, he got even better. And it's funny, Edge was one of those guys that, you know, he never got the Cena push. They never treated him like a buzzsaw that just ate everybody alive. But he was always that go-to guy that, oh, gee, we don't know who to put the title on. Let's just give it to Edge because we know he can do it. And he always took whatever ball he was given and ran with it and became one of the best stars in the WWE. And the only thing that ever really held him back were the injuries. And I knew when he got hurt in 09 that maybe the clock was winding down on him. I didn't expect him to retire in 2011, so it was still a shock, but I knew that he wasn't going to have a whole lot of time left. I'm glad that he's retiring before he became stale. That's always good. I always like to remember guys as being at their best rather than them holding on too long and just embarrassing themselves. Ric Flair, I'm looking at you. Excuse me. But yeah, Edge is going to be missed, and that's going to leave a gaping hole in the WWE, but yeah, he had a great career. Thank you for everything that you gave us, Edge. You were great. God bless you, and you will be missed. So, those are my thoughts on Edge. Now let's get into the draft. Now, prior to the draft, I felt like SmackDown needed a major push. Now, you know, I've been critical of Alberto Del Rio as a main event player. I like him, but not as a main event character. And Christian, huge fan of Christian, but I felt like the window of opportunity with him as a main eventer closed a long time ago. But you look at the SmackDown brand, they might be the two best guys. Again, prior to the draft. Rey Mysterio was their biggest name, but they've tried the world title thing with him twice. Didn't work. Kane, yeah, it was so great when they tried it before. No thank you. Big Show, he's stale as hell. Wade Barrett, don't like him. And there was just nobody over there that could believably carry the brand as a world champion, to the point that I almost feel like the world title doesn't even feel like a world title anymore. It feels like an intercontinental title level belt, sort of. So I thought, well, God, Christian and Del Rio are the two best guys on the brand. They might be the two best options to carry a world title at this point. But Del Rio got moved over to Raw, and I just kind of feel like, man, how little faith does the WWE have in Christian that they won't let him carry the world title in this situation? I mean, he's got to win this Sunday, right? Right? But who knows? Maybe they want to unify the belts over on Raw, which wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. SmackDown, my point is, especially with Edge gone, because, people say, oh, but they have Undertaker too, but Taker's going to be gone for most of the next year anyway, so he's basically a non-factor. They really needed something, and Orton helped somewhat, but what they did with Cena was kind of a waste, and it was a waste of TV time, and it was a waste of 2 draft picks. Part of my problem with the supplemental draft is that people don't see the guys get traded. Namely, Bryan Danielson went over to SmackDown, which is good for him because it'll give him something to do, but nobody saw him get traded, so it's not treated like it's a big deal. And they could have done that on Raw, but wait, they had to do the whole cock tease thing with Cena where they traded him to SmackDown, which I knew wasn't going to stick. I didn't think they'd trade him back that quickly, on the same show, but, hey, you shocked me, good for you. But, yeah, they traded him back to Raw, so that was a waste of 2 draft picks that they could have spent on other people to try and make it seem like it's important that he's being traded over to another brand. And SmackDown also lost Rey Mysterio and Del Rio, who's essentially their top heel. I mean, it was, I don't buy Del Rio as a top guy, but he was something. And they lost that, and they didn't really get a good heel as a trade-off. They got Mark Henry, which... How many chances is that guy going to get? He's going to get a top heel push over there on SmackDown, and I'm just thinking, how many opportunities is this guy going to get? Haven't we learned that he's just not worth the time and attention anymore? If ever. I don't think he was ever worth the time and attention, but they've tried everything to try and get this guy over as a main event star, and it just doesn't work. But whatever. SmackDown's still failing. They got a couple of guys. They got Sheamus. They got Daniel Bryan, which is good for them. They got Sin Cara, which I don't understand the point of starting off Sin Cara on Raw if they were just going to move him over to SmackDown so quickly. But, I think it would have been better to keep Ray on SmackDown since he's the bigger name, so it bolsters them a little bit, and keep Sin Cara on Raw to give him more exposure as a new talent, which I like what they've done with Sin Cara, because part of my problem with how they introduced Danielson was they had Michael Cole trash him all the time, and then they had him lose all the time. So it just gave off this impression that WWE felt like they were doing Danielson a favor by giving him this job, and they don't feel like they got a major pickup. Danielson, a guy with the indie reputation that he has, you would think they'd be like, hey, look who we got. He's special. We're going to make a star out of him. We can mold him into a star. But that's what they're doing with Sin Cara, and I like it. They have basically said, hey, look, we got Mystico. He's special. Here he is. Hope you enjoy. You will like this guy. And they've treated him like it's a big deal, and I like that, and it's good. So Sin Cara, as far as the experiment goes, he's a so far so good type of deal. He's had some trouble adjusting to the WWE style, but he's going to get better with time, I think. And I like what they've done with him so far. But, yeah, that's basically where we are right now with the WWE. I have an idea for a video next week, so you all see it when I get to it. And, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed Lockdown. If you're going to watch Extreme Rules, hope you enjoy that too. And I'll see you all next week. So, chill, man.